Let's play!
Welcome back to Mega Fighter Cross Street Man, and in today's part we'll be taking on the last set of bosses, starting with Urien.
A character, I'm gonna be honest, I did not see coming.
I know, I didn't think they would use any characters from Street Fighter 3, let alone Urien.
Yeah, Urien's probably the most forgettable Street Fighter character ever, in my opinion.
I think when it comes to Street Fighter games in general, people usually remember 2 and 4. They don't usually think of the Alpha series or the Street Fighter 3 series, even though they're kind of the best.
Well, I'd say people remember Street Fighter 3, but there's so many better and more memorable characters in Street Fighter 3 than there are Urien. I mean...
Yeah, Yoon, Yang, Dudley...
Makoto, Ibuki... You know, it's like there's so many crazy, awesome characters, and you pick the guy whose only real discerning feature is that all he really wears is a thong.
Yeah. Although it's kind of interesting, there is a Urien alternate costume for Brian in Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yes, well, a lot of characters they didn't put in the game, they did put in as alternate costumes for the Tekken characters.
Yeah, like Ogre has a Gil alt, if I'm correct.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of other
who else
characters.
Is there. I remember they
anytime
leaked a photo of Armika, and everyone was so excited for her reappearance. And it was,
Armika. I'm trying to remember who she is.
What?
Oh, Kuma, yes.
It was Kuma wearing the ballerina outfit sort of thing.
Okay, that's her.
Yeah. Everybody loves her because she's one of the bustiest Street Fighter characters.
Well, I mean, Capcom has kind of defined the busty characters.
Yeah, there's not many that aren't big, if you catch my drift. But let's get back to the game.
So yeah, there's one thing I've learned about this level, is that it's kind of dickish, especially with the reflector enemies. If you want to take those guys out fast, you gotta use the optic laser.
And since it's not a weakness, you don't feel guilty using it.
But if you're trying to do a Buster run throughout the entire game, then you're probably gonna feel a little guilty using it.
I've never been a fan of Buster runs. Almost had a Freudian slip there.
Yeah. Let's see, in terms of Buster runs, I don't usually do them. Well, I mean, as a kid I did do them a lot because I didn't know about weaknesses and whatnot. But yeah, like that, we're already at the boss.
Indeed we are. Short levels if you know what you're doing to an extent.
Exactly. Now, I gotta say, Urien's sprite is probably the most different out of all of them.
Yeah, I remember Seth Killian. No, it wasn't Seth Killian. It was some guy from Capcom saying that this fight is probably one of the most fun ones once you know what you're doing, because you really can just not get hit but hit him. You know, it's
Yeah.
He says it's, you know, that perfect mixture.
Yeah, I think the hardest part about this boss is just trying to get the grenade to hit him.
Yeah. But again, once you know how, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun just predicting when he's going to do the ground shot or when he's going to hit at an angle. His Aegis Reflector isn't really that annoying unless you're using a Buster run.
Yeah, and even so, it's a super move, so you're not going to see it. Or Ultra Combo, Super Combo, Mega Combo, Prefix Combo. I don't know what it is.
Whatever.
Yeah. Now, I find this funny.
I know. It's my favorite part.
Oh, Dan. Mega Man has to put up a second one because his shot's going so slow.
I know. That's Dan Hibiki in a nutshell. Epic fail.
I was happy he was in. But finally, we're going after the main character, arguably.
Oh, yeah.
I remember back when, well, I don't remember back, I wasn't a Street Fighter fan back then, but before, really, Street Fighter 3, when Street Fighter 2 was really big in the States, everyone thought Guile was the main character. And that's why in the movies, and the American movies and the American media, he was always the main character.
Yeah, if there's one thing I love about this level, it's that it's the stage music, because listen to Ryu's theme.
Ryu's theme is iconic, although I wouldn't say it's iconic as Ken's theme. Ken's theme, in my opinion, is a little more iconic.
I don't know, I find myself listening to this song more and more as the time goes by, especially when I was recording footage for this playthrough.
Is it because you died a lot in this stage?
No. because I just love this music so much. I don't know why. It's just great fighter music.
It is, and the music in this game is great. I have to give major props to A_rival. I don't know how to say your name, whether it's a rival or a rival.
Interesting name, I have to admit.
A_rival. Something like that. Major props. I remember just seeing this. They did a mock-up of this stage, and I remember seeing it a long time ago, of seeing the mock-up of this stage and seeing the mock-up of the Ryu fight. And I remember thinking to myself, man, that'd be fun to play, but it was just a video, right? It wasn't a game. But it borrows a lot of elements, and I love that. Just, it's so... It's ascended fandom is what they called on TV tropes, which I frequently browse, yes.
You spend way too much time on TV tropes.
It's because I am bored in class, and I can't watch YouTube videos. So
I go on Wikipedia when I'm bored. I go on, like, the Final Fantasy wiki so I can look up walkthroughs.
Yeah, walkthroughs, really?
Well, no, not walkthroughs, but it's like, hey, I want to know a little bit more about the ultimate weapon and how to get it.
Okay, that's understandable. I do basically that, but on TV tropes, because it's, you know, it's fun to read.
Whatever.
So
anyways...
Yes. Go.
This stage. It's awesome.
I like it. I think it's one of the most Mega Man-ish stages. Just everything, design-wise, you know.
Yeah, I think when it came to what kind of levels they were going to do for this game, I think this was the first thing they thought of. Then it really shows that they worked the hardest on this one.
Very, very much so, yeah. It's just, you know, there's a lot of tiles in this that just really feel like it's the perfect feel, the game feel that I love.
Yeah, it really does look like a recreation of a Ryu stage in Street Fighter 2.
I mean, you got the big moon in the back. It's beautiful. I love it.
Oh, it's even going to get better when we get to the boss stage.
Oh, yes. This, when you want to talk iconic, when you want to talk two champions fighting, this is it. Although you're in the wrong color and not wearing a helmet.
Whatever, I don't care. So yeah, Ryu plays exactly like you would expect. If you're familiar with the Chun-Li fight, then you already know about him using the Tatsumaki, or the Shippugyaku Hurricane Kick, whatever, to teleport around. The Shoryuken you shouldn't have to worry too much about, but the Hadoukens is what you're going to be using to do the most damage to him.
I find it just hilarious how you have to basically just reflect everything back at him, you know?
Yeah.
I find that funny. Now, the actual weapon you get from him, though, is funny in a sadder sense.
Yeah, it's funny for two reasons. One, basically it's another Mega Buster, and two, you can actually use this weapon without having to beat the boss.
If you put in the code.
Yes, if you put in the proper code, which I will probably put in the video description at the end of this playthrough, you can actually use the Mega Buster, or the Hadouken, by putting in the proper command, you know, quarter circle forward shoot.
Yep, and he even does, instead of it just being a shot, he does the whole charging thing, you know, the iconic part, but, yes.
So I want to thank you guys for watching, and next time, we're going to take on the Shadowloo bosses. See you later.